Welcome to Old Married Man Podcast. I am your host, Ask John, the Black Dr. Phil. This is episode 3, Coming Out of the Closet. I have a special guest today, and I'm saying that mainly because she's my daughter. It's Father's Day. I couldn't think of a better way to spend an hour on Father's Day than talking to my own daughter. Without any further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself to you.
Hey guys, my name is Rhea. Wreck-It Rhea. He calls me Whack Whack.
Whack Whack. I added Whack Whack Beyonce.
Whack Whack Beyonce, that's me. My name is Rhea. I am a podcaster. I have my own podcast called Reckless Talk with Wreck-It Rhea. It is a LGBTQI-based podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thank you. Now, first of all, let's start off with what do that mean, LGBTQI community? What did that mean?
LGBTQIA. So, it is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, queer, intersex, and asexual. So, yeah, we have a whole community.
So is that just like a long way of saying gay?
I mean, some people look at it like that, but a person that is bisexual is not gay. A person that may consider themselves transsexual don't consider themselves gay. So I think that's why we have so many,
Include everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the name of this episode is Coming Out of the Closet. Now, ladies, calm down. I'm not coming out of the closet. I'm straight. No, I'm not coming out of the closet. But maybe, hold it. Maybe technically I am coming out of the closet. Because I found out that I do things, I say things, and sometimes I wonder subconsciously, am I trying to hide something from people? I'm going to give you an example. If somebody asks me, do I have a daughter? And I'm referring to you, and I say, yes, I do. I say she's 34, right? I say she's a school teacher. I say she was married before. I say she has a daughter. And I'm wondering, do I be trying to make people think she's straight by mentioning the fact that she was married and mentioning the fact that she has a daughter? So in some ways, today I'm coming out of the closet because I'm telling the world I have a daughter who's gay. And I'm proud of her.
A daughter that's a lesbian.
Daughter that's a lesbian. And I'm proud of her. It's June is Pride Month. So I'm coming out of the closet on Pride Month and letting the world know I'm proud of my daughter. I don't give a damn who she likes.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dad. That means a lot to me. June is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to anyone else celebrating this month. And I'm so excited to be doing this interview with you because I feel like, the person who, whatever you identify as, you're coming out of the closet, but your family and the people that love you and accept you have to come out in some way as well. So I feel like this is a very important interview.
All right, Ask John is out of the closet now, ladies. Okay, now I want to start, because obviously if I said you had a husband before and you had a daughter before, you wasn't always, say the word again? You wanted me to say lesbian instead of gay?
I like lesbian.
Okay, you wasn't always a lesbian. Now,
Yes.
I can remember our first major argument. Your
It was about a boy?
Your brother told me that you was dating a boy. I think he was about, I'm going to say 15, 16, I think.
Uh-huh.
We were sitting in the car in front of your house.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Shareya, who's this boy you liking or going with or something? I don't know what word I used. And I remember you got so mad at me. And you said, Daddy, I hate you.
I remember that.
You remember that?
I do.
So you wasn't a lesbian then.
No, I guess I wasn't.
You were straight then, right?
Say that again?
You were straight then.
No, I was not. So it took a lot of self-awareness and me sitting with myself. And I feel like now when I tell my story, I tell people that I was bisexual, or I considered myself bisexual at some point in my life. woman. And when I say bisexual, I feel like at some point in my life I did have an attraction to boys, men, when I was younger, but that attraction to female was always there. Um, you know, some of my first sexual experiences was with a female. It wasn't with male. So I always considered myself bisexual, and then I kind of like evolved into who I really am.
So was you kind of like fighting against it? Was it more like 70-30 men?
No, I feel like when I was younger, it was a 50-50 attraction. It wasn't something I was fighting against. It was something that I feel like I needed to be sure about, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I needed to experience both genders to really understand who I was and what I wanted out of a partner. And I think spending so much time with a male made me realize that this was everything I did not want, if that makes sense.
Are you referring to being married?
Yes.
Okay, so how long were you married?
I was married for... You're talking about before we separated?
No, I mean, how long was you from I do to it's a divorce?
Say that one more time.
From I do into a divorce. How long was you married?
Well, I'm still going through a divorce.
Oh, okay. Okay, so how long did
going
you live in the house with your husband?
We were, I would say, happily married for about a year or two. But we were together for a long time before we got married.
So you was happily married for a year or two?
Yes.
Okay. And was you fighting it then? Like, I really like girls right now?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
The whole time?
Say that one more time.
The whole time you was fighting I like girls?
I'm not gonna say the whole time, because there were times where I would say I don't know if I could say happy or completely happy, but I was content. I feel like I built a really mental connection with my ex-husband, and that plays a big part in, my relationships with other people. But I knew, like, ultimately, I felt in my heart, ultimately, that this is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, if that makes sense. Like,
So,
I knew
how long
that wasn't...
did you let him know that, listen, man, I like women? You let him know from the
You
jump?
said how long?
How long did he know before he knew that you like women? Did he know that?
He knew walking into the relationship.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
that's beautiful then.
I had a girlfriend before him. Like, he knew walking into the relationship that I had an attraction to women. I don't think he realized how deep that attraction was until, we were seriously in the relationship, but he definitely knew.
Oh, so he probably thought it was just something like how most women are attracted to certain women.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cause like I think a lot of women could be gay for a day.
Right.
I
think he thought it was a sexual attraction and that it could never be mental or emotional, that I was attracted to women.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in other words, you really tried to live the straight life. You actually was making an effort to live the straight life.
Yes.
And it just didn't work.
No, I wasn't happy. Like, I felt like I was living someone else's life, if that makes sense. It's so weird to say now, but, I feel like it looked so good on paper, and, I gave off this illusion that I was so happy, but I was fighting a lot of personal battles, a lot of mental battles within myself, just being something that I wasn't. And I'm not going to say that I don't feel like I'm a wife, because I feel like I have wifely qualities. It's just not toward the male species, if that makes sense.
Hold up, that doesn't make sense. So you say you feel like you're a wife for a woman? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Just not for a man.
No.
What is the things that a wife for a woman do versus a wife for a man do?
I mean, I think it depends on a lot on your personality and the role that you would play in your relationship.
I mean, do they do different
Whether,
things?
yeah.
Like, I mean, I want my plate handed to me. I mean, do you do that to a woman?
Say that one more
I
time.
would like a wife to hand me my plate after it's made. Do you do that? Make my plate, hand it to me.
Oh, yeah, I would do that. I still make plates. I like I still cook and clean and do all those things, but I want my plate made too sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I want you to cook for me, you know? So I think it depends on the role and like your personality
Okay.
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how far in did you have a child with your husband? How soon did you have a child with your husband?
You said how old was my child?
How soon did you have a child with your husband?
Oh, okay. Really soon. I got with my ex-husband when I was 19. I was pregnant at 20, and I had my daughter when I was 21.
Okay, so you already had a child way before you got married.
I had the child before I got married, yes.
Okay, so you, even after having a child, you getting married and everything, you was really, I mean, I consider that really trying to make an effort to be straight.
Yeah, you know, it's so weird because I feel like that was like one of the best times of my life, like when I had my child, and you know, being a mother, I don't take I don't take that for granted, and I don't take away from that situation. But when it came to being his wife, we had a lot of conflict because I feel like what he wanted out of a wife, I wasn't able to give, and who I wanted to be, that's not what he wanted. So I tried, you know, I tried to conform, but yeah, the more I try, I feel like the more I tried to live that lifestyle, the worse our relationship got. If
What
that makes sense.
what kind of wife did he want? Like, did he want like the old school?
Oh, like yeah, like a housewife. That's kind of how I
Oh,
feel.
okay,
You
old
know,
school,
like
old
that
school.
typical housewife, cook, clean, stay home, take care of the kids. You know, when I get in the house at the end of the night, I need a hot plate on the table.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I like it. I like it already. So you didn't like none of that.
I don't like that it was an expectation, if that makes sense.
Oh
I don't
wow.
like the expectation from it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I've always had a very rebellious personality. So it's like, if you tell me dinner should be ready when you get home, I'm purposely not gonna have dinner ready when you get home.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
spiteful. That's what you call being spiteful.
I'm kind of like a rebel in some ways.
So, do you think that if a woman don't have a mom that's married and they're not in wife school, do you think that make them kind of like rebel against being a wife, not know how to be a wife?
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah, I do. I feel like I had this conversation with you once that was similar to that, and it made me really think about it. And I'm like, you know, I did come from a mom. There was no male in the house, so I really didn't grow up seeing a woman be a wife to a man. I've never seen that. You know, I've seen it on TV. I really haven't really seen it that much in my family, to
So
be
you
honest.
almost had to improvise.
Yeah, like I had to figure it out on my own. And it's crazy because I used to read a lot of books. I used to read a lot of books.
On
Like
how
I
to be a
used to,
wife?
yeah.
There's books
They
that's
have
called How to
good
Be a
books. Like I
Wife?
used to go to Barnes and Nobles and try to find different books on how I could be a better wife and what does it mean to be a submitting woman. And I read chapter books and it didn't work.
Wow. So what was the like kind of like the final straw before you said, I'm gonna break up this family? Because you had a family. I mean, you have a daughter, your only child,
Yes,
his only child. You don't have any
his
other
only
children.
child.
So before you decide to break up a family,
Hmm.
What happened like that makes you say, okay, I just can't, I can't deal with this man anymore? And I'm not talking about something he did. I'm not talking about something he did.
No, no, no. Okay, yeah, I understand. I feel like for me, it was I. I feel like at that time I wasn't happy and I wasn't being the best mom that I know I could have been. I feel like a lot of depression with my identity and me trying to conform. I was really in a depressed mental state, and I was just like, I tell everybody like I felt like a caged bird or like a caged butterfly because I like butterflies. But yeah, like I felt so caged, and I'm like, I'm not being the best mom because I'm not happy. So I need to walk away from this marriage and find my happiness so that I could be happy and I could be a good mom to my daughter. So I just feel like, yeah, just a lot of self-identity problems that I was having.
Now, was that said? Was that said in a letter or a conversation? How do one? Hold on. This is what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how do a wife come to their husband and say, "I need to get up out of here."
It's not easy. I tell everyone, like, I promote marriage and successful relationships. I really do. But I tell people, when you're trying to walk away from something, the hardest part is leaving. That's the hardest part. Like, I planned in my mind, and I'm like, all right, this is how I'm going to do it. But I think I was so invested into that marriage. Like, we were living together, and, we had a family, and we had shared things. And I was just like, I think I just called my mom one day, and I was like, I think I'm gonna leave. And she's heard me say that 100 times, so she's like, whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%. And this day, I don't know where I got the will, but I actually left, and I never looked back. I'll never forget that day because I had planned to leave so many times, and not just because the marriage was bad, just to leave to find myself.
But what I'm asking you is this: I'm trying to understand. How did you tell him that? How did you convey to him, "I'm up out of here"?
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
What was his reaction?
Yeah, but I feel like when you tell a person that 100 times, about the 80th time they stop believing you. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, you told me that before.
Okay.
So I think even when I did really leave, I think it was a shock because I had told him I was leaving 100 times before that.
Wow.
So I wouldn't say he was prepared, but it was like, okay, this time.
She's serious. She's serious. Yeah. So then you went back home.
Yes.
Okay. And how soon before you start dating again?
Well, this is the crazy part. Even when me and him were together, I had already started dating. So I had a girlfriend when him and I were still living together that he knew about.
Oh, he knew about this?
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. The plot thickens. Hold up. Hold up. He knew that you had a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And
so at the end of us, we weren't together, but we were still living together. And I started, kind of like living in my truth and dating a little bit. And I was with a female that he knew of. And that was really hard. He didn't take that well. I remember there would be times where I would be hanging out with her, and he knew. Like, he knows this is not my friend. He knows this is my girlfriend.
Hold on, you mean hanging out with her in the house?
Yeah.
Hold up. She came to the house. She came to the house?
She has.
And he's in the house or out the house?
No, he wasn't there. Like, I would hang out with her when he wasn't home. There has been times when he came home and he did see her.
And what would his reaction be?
Say that again.
What would his reaction be when he walk in the door? Hey, honey, I'm home.
Oh yeah, it would be bad. It would be bad. That led more to the breakup. It used to be horrible. It was a lot of arguments. Yeah, it was bad. But I felt like I was finally living in my truth. I just needed to be completely done. And it's crazy because I'm not gonna say that relationship is what really helped with my final straw, but she was having a lot of problems with me still living with, you know, my ex-husband.
Oh, so she wanted you to physically break up with your husband.
Yeah.
Get out of this house.
Yes.
Okay, now I have to ask this. You're my daughter, but we keep it real with our conversation, so I can ask you this. Was you still sleeping with your husband when you had the girlfriend?
No.
So it wasn't, okay, so it was no back and forth. You was just with the girlfriend.
No. We weren't even sleeping in the same bed.
Oh, damn. The couch?
We were living in the same house, but we were not sleeping in the same bed.
Oh, so you was weighing out the couch.
He was sleeping on the couch, actually. How considerate of him.
Hold on, he was sleeping on the couch.
He was sleeping on the couch. I was in the room with our daughter.
Wow. Okay, so how long did you date this young lady after you left home?
How long did me and her date after I finally left?
Yes.
Not long. Probably another month or so.
So
yeah, it didn't last with me and her, but I do feel like she helped a lot in me finding myself and really like leaving and breaking free from that cage.
Oh, okay. So in other words, she just helped you escape. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she kind of gave me the battery, the charge I needed, if that makes sense.
But once you got out, you figured you didn't want her like you thought?
No, it just didn't work for other reasons. But it was like a liberating feeling. I was like, okay, I'm out. You know, even though things with me and her didn't work out, I was just like, I could live in my truth now. Like, that was like my coming out of the closet moment. It wasn't even being with her, and that's the crazy part about it. It was everything that came after that. It was me leaving him, me being single, and me just really getting in touch with myself.
So after you left your husband, did you ever date another man?
Date another man?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so once you left your husband, you were done with men.
That was it.
Wow. So so in other words, it wasn't just that you wanted to leave him. You wanted to leave men at that point, period. Not just him. You wanted to leave men alone, period.
Yeah, I think I was just done with the male.
So you were no longer bisexual at that point?
No.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, it was an evolution for me. Like, I really learned a lot about myself, and I was like, yeah, probably never gonna do that again in life. And yeah, that was it.
Now, what role in a female-female relationship do you play?
Oh, that's a good question, Dad. I like to say that I am a dominant woman. So I don't like when people say, "Who's the man in the relationship?"
That's why I didn't say it. That's why I didn't say it.
What?
That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah, that's a huge pet peeve. I don't like when people say that because it's two women. Nobody's the man.
Mm-hmm.
But I consider myself a more dominant woman, so I do like to lead and guide, and I like to be the captain of the ship, if that makes sense.
How did you decide that's the role you wanted? Like how?
I feel like that's a good question. I feel like that's always been who I was. Like, it's always been that my personality has never changed, and I think that's where people get so confused about. It's like, you changed who you are. I didn't. I changed my style of dressing. I changed, who I date. But the personality was always there. I've always been a very strong-headed woman.
So you saying even when you was with a man,
yes,
this personality that you have right now, being the dominant person, you always
yes.
had it. But a man just But a man wouldn't allow you to do this. A man wouldn't allow that. A man is not going to allow a woman
And
to.
that's why we had so much conflict. Because
Okay.
it's like, no, I'm not. And I'm not saying a woman is, in a heterosexual relationship, women listen to men, but women do have different roles than a man. And I feel like I never was willing to conform to that. I tried. I'm like, okay, if this is what a wife is supposed to do, let me try this. Let me try that. But it was like a try. It was like a trial and error. It wasn't who I am. I've always been very headstrong and very in control of my own decisions.
Wow. See, now, like my mom, your grandmother, she took that role to the maximum of letting my dad be the dominant one. Like my mom actually thought my dad was smarter. She thought he was stronger. He was 9 years older than her, so of course she thought he was wiser. She really took that back seat, and I guess every woman can't take that back seat like that.
But do you feel like that's learned behavior? Because I feel like I was raised so different. I was raised like women can do anything. I was raised with a mom who ran a whole house, by herself. So I feel like I learned very early that a woman can do it by herself, and a woman can, work as hard as a man. And you know what I mean? That's what I knew.
So in other words,
so that's what I'm sorry. I know it's your interview, but that's my question to you. Do you feel like it's learned behavior?
yeah, I think it's learned behavior.
Okay.
I think it's actually learned behavior, because I think the way I grew up with both parents in the house and seeing the role that my mom took and the role my dad took, it made me think that was the right thing to do. And it could be totally wrong,
Right.
but it's just what I seen. It's all I seen. You understand what I'm saying? So it could be 100% wrong. I could find out someday what I seen was 100% wrong, but that's all I knew.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now, when you say you were the dominant one, okay, now you do like the typically male stuff in the relationship. Pick up the check, take out the garbage. You take out the garbage.
Yes. So when I came out, I realized my attraction was to feminine women. So I only date feminine women. I like very feminine women. I'm not gonna say, because this is like another argument that I have with people all the time when I say I like submissive women. I do. I prefer a submissive woman. And what I mean by that, I don't mean a weak woman or a woman that I can control. I just mean like a woman that is going to let me lead the way, if that makes sense. I feel like, I don't know, I'm your child. I feel like I have all the answers. So,
Yeah.
I'm in control of my destination. And, I want to be in control of where this is going. And I prefer to date women that are going to give me that level of control in the relationship.
Yeah, I want to steer the ship. I want to steer the ship. I want to be the captain of the ship. I want to be the captain of the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my ship.
Yeah. Yeah. So I understand that. 100%. So how do you make sure you found that woman as opposed to finding a woman like you? Because say she could be feminine looking, she could look feminine like the way you attracted to or what you attracted to, but she still could have a dominant personality.
That is true.
So do you have to ask them straight up, hey, are you dominant or?
No, we don't ask questions like that. It's just like, it would be the same way if a straight person went on a date. It's like, are we compatible?
No, but what I'm trying to say, if I go on a date with a straight woman, right? I'm assuming she look at my 287 pound, 6 feet self. I think she know I'm stronger than her. I don't think we have to.
But why are you assuming that?
I'm thinking that she might know that. I didn't say that it's correct. I'm just trying to say I'm assuming she may know that, right?
Okay.
So we're not gonna have a conversation about who's dominant. So what I'm saying to you is, if you go out with a woman and she's attractive, like you like her, feminine looking, how do you find out whether she has a dominant personality before you go too far with her?
I think I just observe her mannerisms.
Okay.
I observe her mannerisms. The kind of person I am, I look at everything. I'm gonna open your car door for you. You're gonna walk on the inside of me when we walk.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Okay.
Like I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that control. I like that level of, you know, that level of authority in a relationship. So I need a woman that's gonna allow me to do those things and not have a rebuttal for it.
Okay. Now, is that easy to find?
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask this question. When you meet a woman who is lesbian and she used to date men, is it more difficult or is it easier to date a woman who once was involved with a man?
I would say it doesn't matter unless children are involved. Yeah.
If she's somebody's baby mama.
Somebody's baby mama. That always makes a difference.
Whoa. That's
Yes.
gotta be a little hard.
Say that again.
That's gotta be a little hard.
Oh yeah, I think that makes it tough. Yeah, and it's so crazy because I'm usually the one that comes with the child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I come with a child, but I don't got no baby daddy issues. my plate is pretty clean. So yeah, I've dated women who come with that, and you know, some men don't want a woman around their child, and you know, it gets tricky in those ways. But as far as if she's been with a man before, no,
It doesn't matter if she's been with a man before?
No.
Because I would think like if she'd been with a man before, the mannerisms or the behavior of a man, that she might not want you to duplicate all of them. Like, what I'm trying to say is if she turned off from men, then she meet a woman who's duplicating mannerisms of a man, she may not like that.
But why are we considering the mannerisms of a man?
Why are we considering it? What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, why does it have to be mannerisms of a man?
Okay, the mannerism of a dominant one. How about that?
Right.
Yeah. If you are showing behavior or mannerisms of a dominant man, right? Wouldn't that turn?
Why can't it be mannerisms of a dominant female?
Okay, dominant. Okay. This say, for instance, like a person like yourself who left a relationship because she didn't want to be submissive, right? And then you meet a woman who left her relationship because she didn't want to be dominated, right? How do you compromise that? How do you get meet in the middle with that?
There's no compromise. Then I would say that we're not compatible.
Okay, so you need a woman who's okay with being submissive and being dominated.
A woman who wants that submission, who wants to offer that submission, and wants that, that feeling of security from a woman.
Now, I know this from dating. A lot of women want a guy who can kick somebody's ass. Would you agree? Would you agree with that? As a woman, when you were straight, did you want a man who could kick somebody's ass?
Yes.
You wanted to believe that he can kick somebody's ass if need be.
I mean, yeah, I think anyone would want to be with a man who they feel protected with.
Yeah. You now have to take on that role. How do a woman let another woman know I can kick a man's ass?
That's a good question. Now, when you say that as a dominant woman, you have to take on that role, why do you feel like I have to take on that role when it's two women in a relationship? Why does one person have to be able to kick somebody's ass?
Not kick her ass. No, I'm not talking about her ass.
I'm just saying, why does one person have to be that person in the relationship? Like, that's the person that'll...
Okay, I'll give you an example. A man that's married, right? Not only is he's his wife's husband, protector, he's his family's bodyguard. They the bodyguard of the family. And when I mean that, I mean if somebody bothers somebody and a member of the family, he's security, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're in a relationship and you're taking the role as a dominant person, you have to be that security, right? You don't have to be that security. You told that's the one.
So.
That's the one job you say I'm not signing up for.
I'm not saying me personally. I'm saying in general, you don't have to be that security because when the situation arises, it's two women. So what are you gonna say if a man come over here and start acting crazy? The dominant woman's supposed to kick his ass. It's still a woman. You know what I mean? It's not a man. So why do I have to have that job?
Okay, hold it. So listen, this is what I'm trying to. Okay, let's give a hypothetical, right? A straight couple out on a date, right? Somebody's hitting on a straight woman, right? She tell her man, when I went to the bathroom, this guy over there grabbed my arm when I went to the bathroom. He tried to talk to me. Most women would think he's getting ready to get up and kick some ass, right? Right?
But there's some guys that's not gonna get up and do that.
I think if that guy don't get up and kick some ass, it's gonna be a problem later on in the night. I think it's gonna be a bad problem later on in the night.
Yeah, you're right.
So what I'm trying to say is a case like that, a scenario like that, or even if she has a kid's father and he's over there acting a goddamn fool, knocking on the door, talking about, I'm kicking, whatever, acting crazy. How do you say, okay, I don't do that kind of stuff now. I'm not in that security stuff. I'm just a woman.
Well, that's a good question. For me personally, I'm not. How do I say? I'm not a violent person, so I'm not looking to be the aggressor in the relationship or the person that's going to kick somebody's ass. But I do demand a certain level of respect. If I'm walking down the street with my girl and let's say a guy is, trying to talk to her or let's say he gets disrespectful, of course I'm going to intervene. But I feel like I'm going to intervene as a woman. I'm not intervening as a man because I know I'm not a man. Does that make sense?
That's smart. That's intelligent. That's intelligent.
I'm not going to walk up to him like, yo, let's fight.
Yeah, that's intelligent. That's intelligent.
I have more sense to that.
Okay.
But am I just going to stand there and let you disrespect someone that I'm with? No, I'm going to try to intervene in a respectful manner.
Have something like that ever happened to you when a man tried to approach a woman you was with?
I've never had a disrespectful incident so far.
Okay.
But I have been out with women and a man will say something and usually they will, say no thank you, I'm not interested. I've never had anyone be disrespectful. But I've had to intervene like she's with me, but in a respectful manner.
Well, I'm going to say this. If I was to see you, and I have seen you with your girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend before, right? I've seen you with an ex-girlfriend before. To me, you just look like two beautiful women.
I get that.
I don't see, and I'm saying you're beautiful mostly because you're my daughter. So I'm biased. But I'm going to say this, is that I don't want to use a bad word because I don't want to say a word I shouldn't say. I don't see like a manly looking girl and a feminine looking girl when I see you with another female. So what I'm going to say is like, I think men would approach you more on like, can I get with both of you as opposed to just one of you? Like, I mean, he can pick which one he wants.
I'm definitely happy you said that because I feel like even with talking about coming out and self-awareness, you gotta find who you are. Mm-hmm. So I was I was way more feminine than I am now. Super feminine. I was very girly. Too girly.
You was girly to the point me and your mom used to argue about your clothes.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy because I posted a picture of me the other day when I was a lot girly and people were like, oh my goodness, they couldn't believe it. I probably had on some heels and makeup and a short dress. I was super feminine. So when I came out, my style of dressing transitioned a lot. I changed so much about the way I dressed. But I still had to be true to myself. I knew that I wasn't super masculine where I'm going to wear a do-rag and I'm going to cut my hair and, I'm gonna wear big baggy pants. I knew that wasn't my style. That's not what I felt like on the inside. But I did want to be comfortable, and I'm still a very feminine woman. Like, I don't, just because I'm a lesbian, I don't want to be a man, and I don't try to be a man. I'm still very in touch with femininity. So I still like to do my hair. I take care of my skin. Like, I take good care of myself. And I was like, I just need to find my comfortability.
So you're not okay. So in other words, you're saying I'm not taking no medicine to try to.
No. I mean, I know some people do, and to each his own. But I'm comfortable with where I am right now. The way I dress, the way I look, the way I present myself. I'm super comfortable. So I get mails all the time telling me that I'm beautiful, or I'm a pretty woman, and why, and asking all the questions.
Do you do anything to mask your body? Do you do anything to how can I say this? Do you do anything to cover your breasts or make your breasts flatter? Anything like that?
That's a good question. You got really great questions today.
Thank you. It's Father's Day. I'm on my job.
Like, I have friends that use bondage tape, like, to hold it down. I don't do that. I do notice something I did started doing differently. Like, I used to wear regular women's bras, and I realized that it gave me too much shape. So I started wearing, like, really tight sports bras to, like, kind of compress. So I noticed, like, I'll do things like that to not bring, like, that shape illusion out so much, because I am still a woman and I still have womanly parts. And I'm like, when I wear a bra, like, you could see boobs, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Okay, I think I seen the bra you referring to. You was in Miami recently, and you was in a swimming pool. Was that the bra you referring to? Was it a sports bra, a black sports bra? You was in Miami in the pool, right? Okay, so that's a woman's sports bra, like for a person who plays volleyball or whatever. That's what a woman wears.
Yeah.
So it's not like Victoria's Secret to make you look voluptuous and push the girls up. It ain't to push the girls up. It's to flatten it.
Yes.
To keep them from flopping in your face and stuff. Right? Okay, so you're not taking any medicine. You're not taping up any boobs. You don't desire to get rid of any lady parts or anything like that. Okay. So it ain't gonna be no trance or anything like that. You just a lesbian woman who likes women.
Yes.
Okay. Are you currently in love or in a relationship? Or both?
That's a good question. Sheesh Louise. I am in a new relationship. I wouldn't say I'm not in love yet, because I feel like I'm a realist. Like, I'm in touch with feelings and emotions, and I don't lie about those things. So I'm not in love, but I like someone a lot.
Okay. How long ago you been involved with her?
We've been together for 3 months.
Oh, okay, that's new.
Yeah.
That's when you like everything they do, when they only 3 months. You like everything they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Is she African American?
She is Chinese and Puerto Rican.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she speak Spanish?
She does speak Spanish.
Do you know any Spanish?
Only bad words.
Okay, because it annoys me when I go to the barber shop and they be speaking Spanish and I don't know what the heck they talking about. Do she ever speak Spanish around you and her family and you don't know what the heck is she saying?
No. She hasn't done that yet.
Okay.
But she definitely brings it out the bag sometimes.
Oh, okay. And how old is she?
You said how old?
Yeah, how old is she?
She is she's 24.
24.
Yeah.
And you're going to be 35 next month.
God willing.
God willing. How is that the age difference? I mean, first of all, does she have any children?
She has no children.
Okay. So how is that age difference? I mean, I know from man to woman, that's a little gap.
Yes. It's definitely definitely a big age difference. It was something I was really concerned about when I first met her, and I made her very aware of it. You know, like I host a lot of parties, so she came to a party and we met at a party I was hosting, and when she told me her age, I had a lot of concerns, and I was just like, I'm an older woman, what do you want? What do you want from me?
A whole 34.
You said what?
You're a whole 34, right?
Yeah. Like, what do you want from me? But I feel like we've been having really good conversations. And I'm not gonna use that corny cliche line like she's so mature for her age. I'm not gonna say that because there are some like noticeable things where there are noticeable moments when I'm like, okay, this girl's 24. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm a realist.
Give me three.
I feel like from being in a marriage and coming out and living in my truth, in some ways I feel like it made me age backwards, and I always tell people that, like, I feel so much more youthful in my 30s than I've ever felt in my 20s. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like a new person. Like, I feel like I'm in my 20s
now. So 35 is...
I was actually in my 20s.
35 is to do 25?
And I just give off this very, like, youthful energy and spirit that it kind of works because... she's young, we have fun, she balances me out, if that makes sense.
What are the 3 positives and 3 negatives about being with a younger person?
3 positives. Can I be honest?
Yes.
They look good. They look youthful.
They in their prime. They in their prime time.
Yeah. Yeah, they look good. She keeps me young. She keeps my spirit young. And I don't know, she keeps me up to date with a lot of things I don't feel like I'll be up to date with, like technology and all this like new stuff that I don't know about. I feel like she definitely she keeps me young.
Okay, what's the negatives?
I feel like it's crazy because we just had this conversation the other night. I told her that I feel like sometimes her interests are a little immature for me. Like, we'll be on the phone talking and she's talking about things sometimes and I'm like, I don't care, girl. I'm thinking about bills. I'm thinking about real life things.
She talking about Boosie got locked up or something like that, huh?
You said what?
She talking about rapper Boosie got locked up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, girl, I don't care about none of that. I'm dealing with real life stuff.
And you looking at the light bill going, damn, this light bill went up. Why this light bill went up? Mm-hmm. Do she live home? Does she still live home?
Say that one more time.
Does she still live home?
Oh, yes. She still lives home. She lives with her family. I had a lot of concerns about meeting her family because I was an older woman.
Mm-hmm.
But her family loves me. Her mom loves me. Her mom definitely feel like, I've made a great difference in her life just because I'm older and I'm a little more focused on reality, and I try to bring her in touch with reality a lot. And so that was another concern, meeting her family. And sometimes I'm not gonna say because she's grown. Obviously, she's grown and she's legal, but I still kind of have this phobia when people do ask me how old she is.
I noticed you laughed. You cracked up when I asked you.
Yeah, like it makes me uncomfortable. Like one of my friends asked me the other day, and I'm like, "Why? What do you want to know for?" But yeah, I guess I'm still dealing with that part of the relationship.
Okay, now did she used to date men, or she was always a lesbian?
No, this girl, she identifies as lesbian. She's always been with women. Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
So you ain't got to worry about her ever going back and forth on the track, over the track.
No, I don't think I have to worry about this one. If that happened, I would be completely shocked, but no.
Okay, now, what if she wants a child?
We talk about that. We definitely talk about that. She told me the other day that she wants children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she did. And I'm kind of in a space where it's very 50-50. I'm not even going to say 50-50. I'm going to say 60-40 for me. 60% I don't want more children, and 40% I might consider it.
Okay, now I'm going to go out on a limb and say she'd be the one that carried the baby. She's going to be the one that carried the baby, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my carrying days are over, Dad.
Okay.
I'm 34.
Okay, so you one and done.
I'm done.
You one and done. Okay. So how would you go about getting her pregnant?
I mean, you're a smart man. You know, there's like in vitro and all these new methods to get pregnant for, same-sex couples. So we would consider something like that if that was consideration. But I think I'm just in a place in my life where, my child is going to be 14 in 2 months. Like, she'll be off to college soon. Like, do I really want to revisit that? You know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, so like after only 4 months, you're talking about having a baby? Is that like, I mean, I know I'm old.
Is that normal in lesbian
Is that
relationships?
normal in this era? Period. Is that a normal thing? Like 4 months later, to be talking about having a baby?
That's one thing about his dad. Lesbians, we move fast. We move super fast. 4 months, you could be living with someone.
Hold up, are you talking about living together already?
No. See, I feel like I've learned so much from my last relationship that I just wanted to come in super healthy and super, like, a lot of boundaries in this relationship. And that's one thing I'm like, I'm not ready for that right now.
Okay. Now, how do your daughter, how is she receptive to not just a new girlfriend, any girlfriend? Is she receptive to that? Being that she all she knows is a man and a woman relationship. That's all she knows.
Well, I feel like I had this conversation the other day. I feel like that's all she knows when it comes to her mother. But I feel like my daughter was born into a family that was so diverse because my mother was already out. So
hold it now. Listeners don't know. You gotta expand on that. You just said already out. Now they like, hold it. What happened? We missed something? Did I go to the bathroom or something?
Well,
Tell them what you're saying. Tell them what you're saying.
My mother identified as a lesbian. My mother came out to me when I was 12 years old. So she's in a same-sex relationship. And when I had my daughter, she was born into a family that was already so diverse. So her grandmother was a lesbian, and that's all she ever knew. She'd never seen her grandmother with a man before. So I think it was a little more accepting because she already understood it, and she already saw that. She already had this philosophy in her head, like, love is love.
Now, I know people going to sit here and wonder, because I wondered at one time, is being a lesbian learned behavior? Like you just said that your mom was a lesbian, right?
Right.
Okay, so you grew up with mom being a lesbian.
Yes.
At 12, you found out at 12, right?
I feel like that's a great question. It's something that I found with a lot when I was coming out and I was, doing a lot of self-awareness. I'm like, when I told my mom that I was leaving my marriage, she supported whatever I did, but she did have her own fears, just as far as, is this who you really are? And are you trying to idolize me? I want you to be your true self and, whatever that may be. So I did fight with that a lot, like, am I this way because of my mom? But, when I really think about my life and go down memory lane, my mother came out to me when I was 12. I already had attraction to girls before that. So I wonder, like, I'm not going to say that I copied her. I just feel like it was easier to come out because of that. And it's something that I do, me coming out is something that I have concerns with as far as my own child, because I don't push sexuality on her in any shape, whether it's heterosexuality or homosexuality. I don't push sexuality on a child. But I do feel like I don't want her to feel like this is what she might become because she's seen it with the females in her life.
So
You know what I mean?
if you had to bet, what would you say the chances of my granddaughter becoming gay? What do you think that is?
The chances of her being
Lesbian,
bisexual, whatever she will identify as, I would say they're the same chances as her being straight, if that makes sense. I would say it's 50-50. Whatever she identifies as, I really don't know until she makes that.
But her dad is currently in a straight relationship with a woman,
Yes.
right? So when she goes visit her dad, she sees an example of what she's seen in her own house. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. She still sees that, straight love, and she still sees heterosexual couples. She sees her dad is in a relationship with a female. So she still gets that, but like I said, I don't push my lifestyle on her, but I don't hide it from her either. So, whatever she decides, like I've dated plenty of women, but I don't bring women around my daughter unless it's something serious.
And this right here, the new one is serious.
It's serious enough.
Okay. So her and your daughter get along pretty good.
My daughter loves her.
What?
And it's so scary because she's not the most welcoming child. She's very observant. She's more of a looker than a talker. But I feel like, when you come into a child's life, you have to try to meet them where they're at and try to find out what they like. And, it doesn't help that, my girlfriend is only 24, so she likes a lot.
They're like 10 years apart.
How many?
They're like 10 years apart.
Oh, wow, that's scary. But yeah, they like some of the same music. You know what I mean? Like, they have one musician in particular that they both really, really, really liked. And I feel like they were able to bond over music, and it helped that relationship.
The weird thing about music is that is something that you could bond with. Sports, music, your older brother, JR, I had him at 16. But we love the same sports. We love the same music. So that's our bond right there. It's sports and music, no matter how old you are, So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
So I know this is your show, this is your vessel, but can I ask you a question?
Sure you can.
When did you realize that your daughter was a lesbian?
I don't really actually recall the exact moment or where I was at or who told me. I don't think you told me. Am I correct?
You said I didn't tell you?
I don't think you told me.
So how did we fall into that? Like,
I'm thinking your mom may have told me. I don't think you told me that.
okay.
I don't think you told me. But I'm gonna be totally honest, it didn't matter because
It didn't matter.
no, I mean
It never mattered? Like, were you ever shocked or?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you go back to what I said in the beginning, when you told me I hate you when you was like 15 or 16, and it was over a boy, they kind of like, hold up. You told me you hate me over a boy, and you like girls? Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I'll be totally honest. I feel more, you in New York, I'm in Florida.
Yes.
I can't protect you in Florida. I can't protect you while I'm in Florida. Do I feel in some ways I'm not worried about some guy going upside the head while I'm in Florida? Yeah.
That's true, but a guy could go upside my head for other reasons.
Well, see, at this point now, your brother is big enough to handle that now. Well, what I'm just saying,
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, yeah, when I first heard about it, yeah, I kind of felt like, okay, you know, I don't have to worry about certain things and things like that. You know, I didn't talk to you about sex when you were straight. So I'm not going to talk to you about sex when you a lesbian. So what you do in your bedroom, what they got to do with me?
Yeah.
You know, you already did. You already have a daughter. You already gave me a granddaughter. So, so I mean, what else to talk about? There's nothing really. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. You know, I mean, I'm proud of you, regardless. I don't care nothing about that.
Okay.
You know, like that. So, you got another question for me? That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good question. But all I just think is like people need to be themselves. I mean, we're gonna be on this planet for such a short time. Could you imagine sleeping with a person that you're not attracted to or feeling just because you want everybody to believe you are a certain way? I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that.
That's definitely an empty feeling. It's
So,
definitely empty.
I mean, we don't know if today is our last day or tomorrow. So as long as you are happy and you look happy,
I am happy.
you look happy.
I told you I feel 20. I feel 22.
You feel that young?
I think so. Yeah.
Damn. So you feel 20? That's a big difference. 22. That's a big difference.
I definitely feel. I feel good. Like I feel so usable. I feel so free. If that makes sense. Like that freedom that you get from just coming out of the closet and living in your truth. I think it's the freedom that people don't understand. It's the freedom. It feels so good.
Wow. So now I just want to go back to something you said earlier. You said, of course, I don't think no one is going to be gay to imitate their parent. I don't think nobody's going to do that. Like,
Okay.
as much as I love my dad, right? I'm not sleeping with no man because I would be like my dad.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think a woman is gonna sleep with a woman just so she could, impress her mom, show mom that I love your style. I don't think so.
I would hope not.
I would hope not. Now, you said earlier that you're the dominant one in the relationship. Is your mom the dominant one in her relationship?
I think she would be considered that.
So that personality of being the dominant one, that is something that's learned behavior.
Probably, yeah.
That part of it is.
Yeah, I could see that part. I could see that part because my mom was just like, she was just like one of those pro women. Like, she was just a boss to me. Like, she just handled everything. And I'm like, I want to be that kind of woman, if that makes sense. When I was younger, I'm like, I want to be like my mom. What girl doesn't want to be like their mom? You know what I mean? So I think when I think just about the power of over my life and my decisions and how I move and how I act and what I do, I definitely feel like that was her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now I totally agree with that part. I never would think somebody's gonna want to sleep with a woman because of their mother sleeping with a woman. I don't believe that part. But the part about being a dominant female in the relationship, I think you got that from your mom. 100%. Like that. But for the record, whoever's listening, she ain't sleeping with no woman because her mother's sleeping with a woman. That's silly. Get that. That's just stupid.
Thank you.
That's stupid. Get that out of your head. If anybody believe that,
Thank you.
you know. Now I know you have a great grandmother who's still alive.
Yes.
Right? Now that's old school. That's old school. She's old school.
Oh, she's old school. Yeah.
She's a church woman.
Yes.
Okay. How is her and the rest of the family dealing with I'm now a lesbian? Because out of your young cousins, that's your age. I know all your cousins because I've been knowing your family a long time.
Yeah.
You were one of the few ones that were married.
Yes, one of the only ones.
Okay, I didn't want to say that. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say that part. You're one of the
Okay,
only
I'm
ones
saying
that
it,
were
we've been
married.
honest.
So how did they feel, or what was the reaction when you came out and said, okay, I'm a lesbian now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like some people feel like I've changed a lot. I feel like from my great grandmother, she's very set in her ways. So she can know something, but she's not gonna acknowledge it. So it's crazy when I was like with my ex fiance, because I was engaged to a woman before this relationship. When I was with my ex fiance, and my great grandmother loved her. She would come around. She was at every family event. So she was well aware, but she called her. If she was describing her as Ray's best friend, I'm like, that's not my best friend. You know what I mean? Like, she'd be like, where your best friend at? I'm like, she's right there. Like, out of respect, I'm not gonna correct her, but I think it was more of I know what's going on, but I'm not gonna acknowledge it.
Now let me say this. I'm gonna tell you something that I've never told you before. There's not a lot of things I've never told you before. My mother, your grandmother, told me that your mother was a lesbian before your mother ever told me.
Shut up.
I swear to God.
What?
I swear to God. She told me that. When I introduced my mom to your mom, my mom told me that.
How did she know?
I have no clue. I have no clue. How did my mom know that? Now, I knew your mom liked girls before she liked me. So I already knew that. Saying I like girls, that doesn't mean you're a lesbian. I don't go, you're a lesbian because you say that.
Right.
But my mom actually told me, Johnny, she's a lesbian. And I'm thinking in my head, Mom, this time I think you're really wrong.
Right.
In my head, I'm thinking, Mom, you usually know what you're talking about, but this time you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
And she was really, really right.
And she was really, really right. So I think like old people, I don't know, man, they have some type of instinct that we just don't understand.
Yeah.
We don't understand. Like your grandma, she know what was going on.
Yeah.
You ain't have to say, some things don't even have to be said.
Right.
And they know what's going on. So have they embraced you talk about your podcast. Tell people about your podcast. Now, I'm sure I have some LGBTQI members that I don't know about. They may didn't tell me. So tell them about your podcast that come on every Wednesday on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. All right. So, yeah, I have a podcast. I've had a podcast for about the last 2 years. I've seen it grow tremendously in the last 2 years. I started out just doing voice audio, and then it's crazy because something that I was so insecure about, my voice, it turned into like such a staple, and I realized women really like my voice. Yeah, it's crazy. So a lot of women would tell me like, I want to see the person behind the voice. You have such like a sultry, very interesting voice. So I started doing live podcasts, and last May I got my podcast studio, and basically I talk about a lot of taboo topics within the LGBTQI community, but I feel like my podcast is a podcast for everyone, and I feel like that is what, is Pride Month, and I feel like that's what Pride is about. It's not just about being gay or being in the community. It's about all the people that love us, all the people in our lives, our family, our friends who may not be gay, but you love someone who is in this lifestyle or who's in this life, and you're going to support them and whatever they do. So I have a lot of different guests, straight, gay, trans, you name it, and we just talk about a lot of taboo topics in like a judgment-free zone. It's just...
Okay, tell them what time it's on and how can they look at it? What time is it on, and how can they look at it?
Okay, so every Wednesday I do a Reckless Wednesday on IG Live. So I do a live interview. I like to have a lot of like audience interaction. So, I answer questions. I have a phone line that comes in, so you can catch me every Wednesday at 8 on IG Live. And then I download all of my episodes onto Spotify and Apple Podcasts for anyone who didn't get a chance to join.
Tell them about your parties.
Oh, yes. Look at you just showing me off. I love it, Dad.
It's Father's Day.
So I also do a lot of parties for the LGBTQI community. I started hosting actually last year. I did my first hosting, and from there it's grown tremendously. Even when I told you about the New Year's Eve party in Times Square, like that was huge to throw such a big party. And I feel like it's just been growing. Like I said, I have a youthful spirit. People like being around me. Like the what's that saying called? The life of the party. Yes. Yeah. I'm the life of the party. Like I just like to have fun. I like to bring people together. I did something in Miami. I feel like, I've just been blessed and things are getting better and bigger and I'm getting more opportunities. And I feel like that all comes from being true to myself and living in my truth.
Don't you have a party coming up soon?
I do. I have I'm doing I got booked for New York City Pride. That's a big deal in New York and in our community, because like the gay community is very small, but it's kind of like this exclusive. You gotta have VIP passes to get in. You gotta be a little VIP to get in. So to get booked for a party in New York City during Pride months, this is like the height of the LGBT scene. People are coming from out of town just to party in New York City for Pride Month. So I got booked for a job, and that really it showed me so much just about who I am and living in my truth and coming out of the closet, and how people have been receiving me. So that's been major. I have 2 parties that I'm doing next week for New York City Pride. I'm also doing a live podcast panel where we're going to be in a club setting, and we're going to have some drinks and the DJ, and when it's my set for my show, we're going to turn off the music and I'm going to have a live audience. We're going to answer questions and just have a really good
Hold
time.
on, when is that going down?
That's going to be on Wednesday.
That's going to be next Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh my God, okay, that's hot.
Yes.
They're going to turn off all the music and let you just do your podcast?
Turn off the music for 1 hour, and I'm going to record my podcast live.
That's nice. That's nice. Wow.
That's going to be crazy.
That's going to be... So, like, you already have a guest for that show?
Say that again?
You already have a guest to be on that show? You already have somebody lined up?
I'm not doing a guest. It's going to be me, of course, my mother, because she loves it. She loves... she loves the limelight. She's going to be on my panel, and I have 2 other women that are in the LGBTQI community that's going to be on the panel. But basically, we want to ask a lot of questions from the audience. I want a lot of audience participation. I want people to come up and ask a question.
Now, let me ask you a question. To these parties, if someone's listening and you're in New York City, and you might want to come to one of your parties, must you be gay? I mean, can anyone... Okay, hold on, let me say this. Would a straight person enjoy being at this kind of function?
Absolutely, and I'm so happy you mentioned that. The way I promote my parties, I don't promote them as lesbian parties. I've never really done that. I promote it as all inclusive.
Okay.
Because what I've learned from being in the community and from having my show and hosting events, I want everyone to come out, and that's what Pride is about. Like, I have my straight family members who are males, who are in the streets that think they're, street guys.
Yeah.
They come out and we have such a good time together. And I feel like that's what it's about. It's not just, I need to be gay, because then you're promoting segregation. You know what I mean? Like, we're not promoting that. I want togetherness. So most of my parties is straight people there, it's gay people, bisexual, and we're having such a good time.
So a brother could feel comfortable. I'm not... If I was to come to one of your parties, right? I ain't got to worry about being rubbed on by another man, any of that stuff, right? I can be comfortable.
No. Listen,
Huh?
no. You're gonna be
Can you guarantee my safety? That's what I want to know. Can you guarantee my safety?
I guarantee it's safe. But if you go to the Pride Parade, that's beyond my control. Because I had a straight friend that went with me to the Pride Parade, maybe like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the huge parade in Manhattan. So he goes with us. He's a straight male. Of course, he's saying he's going out there looking for girls.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hot, so he takes his shirt off.
Uh-oh.
In the middle of the gay pride parade.
Uh-oh.
Right?
He was asking for it.
He's upset when guys are trying to talk to him.
He was asking for it.
What do you expect?
He was asking for it. Let me tell you.
You really are.
You was asking for it. Let me tell you a quick story. I went to I'm not going to say the family member, who the family member is. We have a family member that's in the LGBTQI community. And one night I promised him, we had a death in our family, and I promised him, wherever you at, call me at 12 o'clock, and I come to wherever you at, right? Okay. When I said that, I meant it. Call me wherever you at 12 o'clock. Give me the address, and I'm coming to you. He gave me the address. It was in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It was a gay spot. All men. I went up to the door. It was a brother who made me look small at the door. I'm 6 feet 277. He made me look small. He was so big. He looked down at me and said, "Brother, do you know this is an alternate lifestyle type of club?" I said, "I don't care. My brother's in it." I said, "My brother's in there," right? And he said, "Come on in." I went in, and it was something I never seen before. Brothers everywhere, dancing, brothers in the bathroom, going to the bathroom, drinking together, having a good old time. I seen who I came to see. We hugged it out. I promised I would be there. And I didn't have no problem.
Okay.
The brother at the front door, I don't know how he knew I wasn't part of the crew. Because he made it very clear that he wanted me to know where I was getting ready to enter. To this day, I don't know why he knew or how he knew I wasn't part of the community. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be totally honest. There was nobody in there dressed flamboyant. There was no RuPaul's in there. I ain't see no RuPaul's in there.
Okay.
It was all masculine looking brothers. It was all masculine looking brothers in there. I'm telling you, if a woman was in there, they wouldn't know. Maybe a woman, let me take that back. Maybe a woman would know the difference.
Right.
I didn't know the difference. All I seen is brothers in Timberlands and, puffy coats, Scullies, but they was having a good old time. Mm-hmm. I had no problem with it. I have no phobias with gay people. I work around gay people. I work around straight people.
It doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me at all.
Now, you being my dad, you've known me since this is my last question, you've known me since I was a baby, clearly.
Yes.
And you've seen me grow into a child and a teenager and then a very feminine woman that was married and you've seen so many transitions in my life. Do you feel like me coming out and being true to who I am, do you feel like I've changed in any ways? Do you feel like our relationship has changed in any way? Or do you just feel like this is still my daughter?
I don't feel like we changed at all. I feel like, I hope other fathers have the kind of relationship me and you have. How we could sit and talk on the phone. Sometimes we be on the phone so long, you'll post on Instagram our time. 2 hours and 10 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we just talking and we just flowing. It is no gaps in our conversation. We don't have to think of stuff to talk about. We don't even have to talk about current events. We don't even talk about current events. You know, some people you get on the phone where you gotta be like, oh, yo, you heard about
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We don't do none of that. We still, as far as I'm concerned, we're still the daughter and father that used to sit in my Pontiac Fiero. And I know people gonna sit there and go, this brother had a Pontiac Fiero at one time. I used to be a skinny little man. I had a Pontiac Fiero. And there was a time when me and your mother wasn't getting along and I couldn't go in the house. And I would pull up in front of your house.
Yeah.
And we would talk for hours.
Yes.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
So now we don't do that anymore. But we get on the phone. We don't get on the phone a lot like we used to.
Right.
We used to get on the phone a lot more. But we don't get on the phone that much. But see, I call you Whack Whack Beyonce. Because I used to tell you, now we text every morning and say good morning, right? I text you every morning, right?
Yes, you do.
Every morning. And I will give you till about 3 or 4 o'clock to text back. And after 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm texting and going, is everything okay?
Yes.
Because I ain't hear from you.
You're right.
Okay. So I started calling you Whack Whack Beyonce when you started the podcast, when you started the parties, because you got real
busy.
You got real busy.
Yeah.
And I said to you, even Beyonce could text her father back and say good morning.
I doubt she does that all the time.
She better be texting Matthew back. So that's why I started calling you Whack Whack Beyonce. Because you're not a school teacher anymore. You're a supervisor at your job. I don't know if you want to tell anybody what you do. But what you do is very important for them children. Can you just tell just a little touch on a little bit of that? What you do for a living?
About my profession?
Yes.
So I work.
Your day job. Your day job.
You said what?
Your day job.
Oh, my day job.
Yeah.
Yeah, my day job, not my day job.
Yeah.
So I work for an ABA clinic. For those that don't know what ABA is oh my goodness, this is so bad. Behavior analyst, working with children that have autism or have been diagnosed with autism. And what I do is I do evaluations. I make sure that the children are getting the proper services that they need in school, whether that be occupational therapy, speech therapy, maybe they need to see it just to help them along the way with their work. I make sure that they're getting all of those services in school so that they can reach their full potential, whatever the disability is.
It's like an IPP, right? Is that what they call it? IPP?
Yes, like IEP. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm in charge of that, writing the IEPs, making sure they have the correct goals, and making sure that they're getting their services.
And she just became a supervisor.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So yeah, I'm a supervisor now. So I started as the person that was actually in the field doing the field work, and then very quickly, and I'm blessed, but like within 6 months I was able to move on to a supervisor position, and I'm making sure that those people are doing their jobs and giving these children the highest quality.
That's great. That is great work. You pocket dialed me the other day. I thought you worked in a nursery or some daycare, because I heard all these kids talking. Remember I texted you back and I said, I said, did you mean to call me? It sounded like you work in a daycare center or something like that. You said you was
It did sound like that, but we do like in-person evaluations.
Okay. That is beautiful. So you make sure the kids get what they need so they can catch up.
Absolutely.
So they can catch up, because these kids are kind of like behind.
Yes.
They're kind of behind.
Yes.
So they need your help to get them the help they need to be able to catch up.
Yes, and that's what I do. That's my passion. I started as a school teacher. I was a school teacher for 10 years. And I feel like the classroom was getting too small for me, for my big mind.
Mm-hmm.
The classroom was getting too small. So I was like, I have all this education and all these skills. where can I put it, to still make a difference for the children. So that's kind of how I got into this. And I really love it. It was the best decision I've ever made.
Well, I'm going to say this. We're getting ready to end. I'm going to say I am so proud of you. I'm so proud to be your dad. I talk about you all the time. I'm going to have to stop saying you're a school teacher. I keep telling people you're a school teacher. I got to stop saying
I'm
that.
not a school teacher anymore.
I got to stop saying that. You're not a school teacher anymore. Okay, tell me what a good name to say instead of school teacher. What is the title again of your job? What is the title for what you are?
Say that again.
What is the title for what you are?
I'm an ABA supervisor.
Okay. That's what I'm going to start saying. Because I keep saying she's a school teacher.
Thank you.
And everybody would say, what grade does she teach? And I go, I think first grade. Was it first grade?
I don't teach anymore.
No, before, what was you teaching? Was it first grade?
You said what?
Before, what was you teaching? What grade was you teaching?
I mean, I taught every grade. I was licensed to teach K through 5, so anything elementary based.
My teachers did not look like you when I was in school.
I know. I was like the coolest teacher ever.
They didn't look like
teacher in the classroom, honestly.
I be seeing these teachers, and this is not anything to have to do with you, but I be seeing these teachers that's getting involved with these students in high school, and I be like, man, the teachers didn't look like that when I was in school. Like the teachers, like, oh my God, they look.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't even know how the students focus in school right now. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. They didn't look like that. I guess because what are they just younger now? Are the teachers just younger now?
They're coming out of college younger, and they're young and
Good looking.
they look useful.
And they prime. They in their prime.
Yes.
That's what happened. They in their prime. They in their prime. Listen, I want to thank you for spending. Man, we spent an hour and 26 minutes on Father's Day.
Wow, it's been that long.
It didn't feel like that long.
So it's time to wrap it up. And I just want to say, it is Pride Month, so I want to say to anyone who watches this interview, and I hope it's well received, happy Pride Month to anyone that is coming out, anyone that has someone in their life that they love, that may be in the life. As a lesbian and an active member of the LGBTQI community, I just want to say support means so much. Support from the people that we love and the people that love us, that means so much. And I'm so blessed to have both of my parents who are so supportive and so amazing. And today happens to be Father's Day.
Thank you.
I have to end it with this. Happy Father's Day, Dad. You are amazing. You are incredible. You are, I don't believe in perfection, but I feel like you are the best father for me. You've taught me so much. You've instilled so much into me. You have so much knowledge, and that's why I like talking to you. You are the Black Dr. Phil. I tell everybody that you're my free therapist. You're my free therapist, but you have so much knowledge and so much to give the world, and I'm so proud of you for your podcast, and I see it going so far, and it makes me a little jealous because I want you to give all this to me, but you give it to the world.
But see,
you give it to the world, and I hope it's well received because you have so much to give. So thank you so much.
And you know what? Thank you for saying that. And you got something that not a lot of people have. You have my personal phone number. So you can get in touch with me anytime you want. I sleep with my phone under my pillow, right?
Really?
I sleep with my phone underneath my pillow. Now, some people would be very suspicious of a man.
Yeah.
Some people would be very suspicious of a man who sleep with his phone underneath his pillow. But I'm gonna tell you why I sleep with my phone underneath my pillow. Because I have children all across the United States. And I don't mean every state, but what I'm just trying to say is,
Not every state.
I'm just trying to say is, the two children I have live in the house. They're 8 and 11. I know where they're at all the time.
Yeah.
My big children, I don't know where they're at all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know when they're gonna have an emergency. I don't know when they're gonna need to talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss no call.
I hear you.
My phone is underneath my pillow. If that sucker rings in the middle of the night, I'm gonna answer it.
I love that.
So, anytime, I'm talking about anytime. It don't even matter. I love you
Dad. I love you.
I love you to pieces, And thank you for everything. Thank you for showing up. And tune into her podcast. It's 8 o'clock on Instagram.
Yes.
And she's mostly on time. Mostly it's on time.
I'm always on time. It's my guess.
Sometimes it gets not on time. Sometimes it gets not on time. Okay. I love you.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.